Oh, looks like Luke is still muted this early morning on Christmas Eve. There he is. There he is.
Welcome to the Daily Grind. I'm not even going to sing. I sang it and it was muted. Welcome to the Daily Grind and happy Christmas Eve, everybody. I am your host, Luke Hatmaker. I spared you my singing this morning and just muted myself as a Christmas present. How are you doing, brother? How we doing?
I'm good. I feel like that was the Christmas gods and whoever's watching over, Santa Claus saying, look, guys, we're not going to suffer through this morning. We're going to go ahead and mute the mic.
That's exactly what it was. Santa was like, oh, God, no, not today. Not today for these great people joining us.
I don't know if there's ever more of an indicator that your singing's on the naughty list than your mic muting itself when you start to sing.
I mean, I was like, yeah, everything's right. Okay, let's go. And no sound. Since we're not here to hear me sing, we're just going to jump right into it. We got a lot to talk about today for everybody joining us at home. First, let's recap that game last night because the Grizzlies lost. And the episode title today is called Playoff Hoops in December. That was something that Brevin, it's a paraphrase of something Brevin said in the fourth quarter. He was like, we are getting playoff basketball here in December. The Grizzlies lost 114-110 in what felt like a playoff atmosphere type game, in my opinion.
Agreed. It's about the third or fourth one that we've had.
Yes.
And we played well in some and we haven't in others. Last night was a mixed bag. A little bit of good, a little bit of bad. Definitely not Ja and Jaren's best game. Jaren took full accountability in the post game, especially for his fourth quarter, where it just felt like our rim just shrunk, and it was supposed to be a friendly rim last night, and it certainly was not. No,
man. And before we talk about individual performances, this game, like the Grizzlies had a couple wide open looks there to close it out that just didn't fall. You know, Dez, Santi, I think each had a jaw. I mean, like in the
good looks,
really solid looks that would have gotten them the lead.
Yeah.
That just didn't fall. You know.
Yeah, I mean, on a night when you shoot 38% from three and 38% from the field, you're not going to win very many games. You know,
and 69% from the line.
Exactly. You're a 38, 69 is not a great shooting slash, not anything. And so, I mean, the whole team was just bad last night. You know, there was some discord. Grizz Twitter is wild, man. Like it is high when we win, and it is desolate land when we lose. And last night they were saying that Ja is washed. This offense isn't for him. That Jaren is a fraud. That Jenkins is terrible. And it's like, guys, it's an 82-game season.
Yeah,
we just didn't play our best game last night, and we lost. And that's going to happen in an 82-game season. We're not going to go 82-0. And we learned a lot last night. We learned that Zach Edey needs to get in the weight room because Zubiak threw him around last
20
night.
and 20. I mean, let's start there. Let's start with that Edey Zubac. Zubac, however you say. Let's start with that matchup because Zach Edey finished 27 minutes, 3 points, 14 rebounds. In contrast, Zubac finished 40 minutes, 20 and 20 double-double.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, I mean, it showed like – Edey had moments, 14 rebounds. I don't care. 3 points is whatever. His offense isn't great, wasn't great last night, but the rebounds were there. He had 3 blocks and no fouls last night. So there's still growth being seen. But what you can see is Zach Edey needs to get in the weight room. Absolutely needs to get in the weight room.
Yep.
He a little bit light in the britches last night, you know, big Zubac out there throwing his weight around, pushing him around, bullying him in the paint. And it showed last night that Zach needs to get stronger. Now, there were glimpses. Again, some big. I think he had 7 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, yes.
I think he played really well from a rebounding standpoint, but he got bullied by a big center.
Yes, and when you look at how the Grizzlies might look at utilizing Edey, like we've talked about, is like you put him against those big bodies, and if you are going to keep putting him against those bigger bodies, he's got to get bigger. I mean, he has to. Well, and another thing about last night's game is we were going up against what I would consider one of the best coaches. Ty Lue knows how to coach him a basketball team. And I think I've been a big fan of what I've seen from Taylor. I mean, if anybody notices, excuse me, we've not had a conversation about Taylor Jenkins in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. He's been doing really solid work.
Yeah.
He was just up against one of the best last night.
And you could tell they had a game plan and they executed it. He very much had like a focus. He very much had a point to go and slow down this offense, and it worked. Now, we got a good effort from our team. Jalen Wells, another one, like he had a good defensive game last night. Get his buckets, but he held him to 37.5% from the field. Like the rookie played well last night, and it was one of the least miserable James Harden games I've watched. He only shot 10 free throws last night. And the Clippers are now, I think on the season, I heard Pete Pranicus say last night, now they're like 6-0 or 7-0 when he gets double-digit free throws. Or it's something like they don't lose when James Harden shoots double-digit free throws. He got 10 last night, and they won the game. It is what it is.
Yes, man, it is so, like, I hate watching that man play basketball. You just you just said it. It's like I hate it because it's. And last night was one of the ones where I was like able to watch. I was able to watch it. But even in 10 free throws, if he gets 10 free throws, he's going to win. Yeah. What do you think about because the big three did play big three. This, like they were our top guys. What do you think about the lack of Brandon Clark past couple games?
I think matchups are not great. It's a big body. Zubac for the Clippers, that's a big body. And I think that plays into a lot of it, that they wanted Edie's size. I think they wanted to get a little bit more height in the paint because, BC struggled last night getting boards. He played 6 minutes. He had two rebounds and 2 assists, 1 steal. He didn't have his best stuff last night. Got 2 fouls early, and I think TJ just saw, hey, he's in a blender out there. We're going to go ahead and go with our big center, and played Edie a lot more last night. And we got a lot of Jaren at the 5 too, because again, he's a great defender, but there was just too much weight in the paint last night.
Man, however you say your name, brother, Zubac. I'm bad at it. The dude is just really damn good. Like he's just one of those centers that's like,
it's just frustrating. Like he sees red, and then when he does, like he's gonna have nights like this. Then it's just one of those things. There's not much you can do about it. Real quick, we got a Merry Christmas from the future. Shout out Wayno, man. Thank you, brother. Merry Christmas. It is Christmas in Australia. It is officially tomorrow out there. So Merry Christmas, sir. But sorry the Grizzlies couldn't get you a Christmas Eve present last night. But man, it was just too much weight in the paint last night. It's one of those nights. Like we just didn't have our best stuff. We didn't have our big three. Ja was very careful. I don't know if you saw the post game. DeMichael tweeted about this, but he's very careful in his words and just said, my shower hurt after the game, talking about he got beat up a little bit, and he did. But we did get it. Like the days of the rim tearing dunks are gone, but we got yet another 360 layup that was just like, wow. That guy is so freaking athletic, man. And what a fun watch, even when he's not throwing down dunks.
Yep. Give it to me. I was getting ready to say that dunk, man. Even in the games where people are talking craziness online, the dude still gets these windmill dunks. Yeah. One thing that I have been, we're not going to talk forever on this because we got a lot to talk about, but the three-headed monster, three-headed dragon, excuse me, of Santi Aldama, Jake LaRavia, and Scottie Pippen Jr. off the bench has been really freaking good, man. Yeah. Those three dudes seem to be good for at least 30 points between the three of them on any given night. And that's to go with at least 15 rebounds. If you're getting 30 and 15 from those three, not to mention the defense that I don't know. Those three dudes. Yeah. If you could collectively give the three of them 6th man of the year, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Between the three of them, they hit 8 threes last night. It's a bad time to be a Santi Aldama hater. Looking at you, Wayno. He's still playing good basketball. Santi finished last night with 11 and 7, which for a role player, that's a good stat line. And he gave us quality minutes, 2 assists, 2 blocks. In the end, does Jake LaRavia have a good 3-point shot? Because Brevin said last night on the broadcast, it's one of those things where Jake is one of those guys that when he's open, I expect the 3 to go in, and it typically does.
Yeah, I've almost maybe more so than because you can see last night in the final love you, Wayno. In the final like bit of action there, you can see the ball there's almost a pecking order in the threes now. It's like it tries to find Bane first, and it goes around. Santi's pretty high up there, tries to find him. I would put Jake up there, man. It's Jake. If Jake is set and is able to catch that, like that catch and shoot, it's money, man.
He hit that one acrobatic three falling out of bounds. He's not going to be a guy that's going to make threes in traffic, but a catch and shoot, spot up on his mark, Jake's going to make it. And, you mentioned Desmond Bane. We hadn't talked about him yet. Wayno, yes, officially, Bane is so back, man, last night. 46% from the field, 3 of 7 from 3. He looks like himself. It's the second straight game where he has opened the game for us with a 3. He had 2 just like the last 2 games. He had a couple threes early in the game, and you can tell when those shots go down early for him, he gets in a rhythm and he continues to play good basketball. So Desmond Bane is officially back.
Well, and it's so funny because people were. It's almost as if he was, playing through an oblique injury or something. It's really tough. I mean, and about those. You know how those are a little hard and they take time. I just think that's really funny because it's once he's gotten back. It's just once he's gotten right. He's gotten. It sounds so stupid. When he's gotten right, he's gotten right. But
I mean, that's it. You're not wrong, especially with a history of a back injury, and then you have an ab injury to go with that. Like it's not great. It's not great. But the Grizzlies now are, Sane pointed this out on Twitter last night, and are 2 back-to-back second place in the West years, 21, 22, 22, 23. We were 19 and 11 through 30 games. We're 20 and 10 this year through 30 games. So we're a game ahead of those teams. We're playing better basketball right now. It's a loss. They're going to happen. We're not going to go unscathed the rest of the way. We are 8-7 now against the West, which is maybe like a little bit of a yellow flag. I won't call it a red flag yet. Where's the yellow flag? We hadn't played our best basketball against the Western Conference, but we've got plenty of opportunities coming up to right that ship.
Yeah, we do. I mean, coming up real soon, too. And the West is a freaking bloodbath, man. Like, the West is tough. I was just looking through the standings today, and it's like you got the top 4 that's a bloodbath, and then you've got the next 7, which is a bloodbath, and it's rough.
So I got a question for you before we move off to the Christmas Day game. So this is a couple losses recently where we've been bullied by some big post players. AD had a field day against us, and then last night Zubac just did anything he wanted. Everybody's clamoring for a big wing. We need to go get some wing scoring. Do you think we need to beef up our post as well, or do you think that E and BC are going to come along and be able to man it?
So I wouldn't be I just don't know. I would not be opposed to going and get like like Larry Nance Jr., like a guy that's just like a traditional vet big. But I just don't know. That's not the top of my wish list. I just don't know who you go get.
Sure.
I just think it's going to be much easier to get a bigger wing as opposed to a post. I would love to. I mean, and J-Hub's been injured too. Let's say that we have been a little, but it's still at the top of my list. Not number 1, but it's like, I don't know, if I was making a Christmas list, it'd be like number 5, 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's fair. It's 2 games in the last couple of weeks where we've been kind of bullied in the post, and again, Edie's going to be fine.
Yes.
BC's going to be fine. It's just I personally think they just need to keep going. I'm excited to see where Edie is after beginning of next year as he just gets more and more reps underneath him. I think we'll be fine, and then he needs to be in the weight room all summer long heading into next season.
I think that's going to solve a lot of problems for us is him getting in the weight room. Real quick, well, let's not talk about the game anymore. Before we get about the Christmas games, I do want to ask you, we had a couple, and I know they announced Vince Williams' injury update, and I know that you know a lot about that stuff. You mentioned the severity of it when it first happened. Is he proceeding as normal per the report? I mean, it's 3 to 6 weeks, I think is what it said.
And it was different wording, right? Because when he first got hurt, they said he'll be reevaluated in 4 weeks. And then they said he'll be reevaluated so it's been 8 weeks almost since the initial injury. And I warned y'all that it'd be 6 to 8 weeks before we got anything meaningful. It's been 8 weeks, and they said that he will be playing basketball within 3 to 6 weeks. And so I think that wording is important. They didn't say that they're going to reevaluate. Grade 3s are tough, man. It's hard to predict exactly how they're going to go because you have like tearing of the ligament in your ankle. You just never know how it's going to go. It's just sometimes they bounce back quickly. Sometimes they're a little bit more lax. I think they're being cautious with him because we're getting such good play out of Jalen Wells. They can be. I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned it's going to be a long-term thing. I say he'll be back on the court within the next probably 4 weeks by the end of January. I think him and Gigi are going to kind of come together as like a package deal.
Heck yeah. So what about the Marcus Smart? I mean, if index finger injury. Do you know? I mean, I don't know if they've said if there was any ligament damage or anything. I
mean, last year he tore the whole like tendon, so it was like a big deal. I'm hoping this is just a sprain. It was cool to see him coaching up Jalen Wells on the sideline last night and doing all the things that he was doing. It was awesome to watch. But I don't know, man. Fingers are weird because there's so much like there's touch in basketball, and there's so much like that goes with that a finger injury can really slow somebody's progress down. And I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous about what that could be, just because with gripping the ball and catching the ball, there's so much that comes in. It's his index finger where you can really control and like hold the ball. I'm awaiting what the official announcement is of the injury, because all they've said so far is just a right index finger injury. I'm nervous about what that could be.
Same. I mentioned briefly yesterday with Uncle Buck too, Drew, that at least, and we saw yesterday, we don't necessarily need him in the rotation right now, and he's able to still do the Marcus Smart stuff that's like coach these dudes up. I really love seeing that. You mentioned Gigi. I guess Gigi's on track to come back. I mean, I don't know.
Gigi's doing great. I honestly think Gigi probably could come back sooner than what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just, again, I mean, we're getting good run out of Jalen. We're in the midst of trade season. I think we're just trying to figure some stuff out. 2 weeks ago, he had no boot, no brace, no nothing. It was out in like full out. I think it was Drew Hill or somebody posted a picture. Maybe it was DeMichael posted a picture of him in practice with nothing on except for his practice gear and his sneaks. And so I think there's a good chance that Gigi's progressing very well, and we might get a sneaky good update on him sooner than later.
Dude, I can't wait to see these guys back together, which I don't know.
We still haven't seen Gigi and Ja play together. That's what's so wild is they have 0 minutes together. And so like there's still so much, Wayno, it's right. It's a scary word, but there's so much potential with what Gigi might be the missing piece of this offense. We just don't know. We just don't know, man. I cannot wait to get Vince and Gigi back, because it just feels like Gigi's ability to create a shot was made for this offense. And then I love watching Vince. Like Jalen did a great job last night, but if you have Jalen and Vince on the court at the same time, we win that game.
Different ball game. Different ball game.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. Let's move off the Grizzlies for a second, and not because I want to, but because they're not playing on Christmas. 2 thumbs down. We get so many Christmas Day games. There are 5 games. We get the Spurs at the Knicks. We get the Timberwolves at the Mavericks, the 76ers at the Celtics, the Lakers at the Warriors, and the Nuggets at the Suns. No Grizzlies, no Thunder. I'll watch some of that. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to watch probably multiple of these games. I'll have them on, but I'm not as excited for, and I don't know if the NBA is. Lakers and Warriors doesn't sound great. Nuggets and Suns might not be good.
Sixers is going to be a blowout. Right. I understand like you're trying to hype it up, like, oh, here's our Christmas Day games this year, but like, why do they announce them so early? The NFL does a really good job of being able to flex games. Yes, they get their Thanksgiving games out of the way, but they've got traditional teams that always play. And I understand the Lakers and the Warriors and the Celtics typically always play on Christmas Day. But Ryan's right. These games suck, man. There's none of them are just really exciting. None of these are like, oh my God, I can't. Like, there's none of these that's saying, I'm not going to watch a Christmas movie because I want to watch XYZ. When literally 4 days later on the 29th, you have the number 1 and number 2 seed in the Western Conference playing on NBA TV and FanDuel Sports Network, right? Like, you could have easily, if they'd given themselves some flexibility, like that Sixers Celtics game, like I get the Celtics always play, but you could easily flex that game. The Nuggets and the Suns, like flex one of those games and put your 2 premier, like headline grabbing teams on Christmas Day. It doesn't make sense. Then you look at NBA's Twitter account and like every 4th post has Ja in it.
Yep.
Great transition there. I think we'll get a game next year. We had one a couple years ago. I think we'll get one probably next year if we continue to play well, but none of these games are super exciting. I'll watch Wemby. I'm excited to watch him.
That's the game.
Playing well. He's currently the odds-on DPOY at minus 200 odds. You know who's in second place?
Drip.
Jaren Jackson Jr. plus 500. Let's go.
Let's do it, man. I'm keeping an eye on that. I mean, that's one that Wemby misses. If he misses extended time, that's
sorry to interrupt, but once again, Ryan's spot on here, right? Like huge attraction. That's an 11 a.m. Central tip. Like move Boston and the 76ers up there because that's going to be a 30-point Boston win, and put Wemby at the 4 o'clock slot. He is must-watch TV, man.
It's the only game that I'm like, yeah, I'm excited for that. And they're like,
and it's at 11 o'clock.
I'm like, I'm watching that. I'm gonna be helping cook. It's like I'm not watching that. And the fact that they have, I mean, John Morant, it was the NBA Twitter, I think, that announced their most viewed players, viral, whatever. John Morant is
search players.
John Morant's number 2 at 538 million. Only one guy above him right now, and that's the GOAT currently, LeBron James. Like, that alone is like, get this guy on Christmas Day, get him on TV.
Yeah. And like 7 of the 10 players are playing on Christmas Day, but the ones that aren't are John Morant, LaMelo Ball, who is also fun to watch hoop. I mean, that guy's super athletic, does a lot of fun things with basketball, and Giannis, who is a huge brand. And so it's like you're missing out on marketing some of your best, most viewed players. I mean, John Morant and LeBron James 200 million views more than Wemby, and John Morant's 136 million views more than third place Wemby. So like one of your players that's like one of the most searched and viewed players on all of social media ain't even going to be playing on Christmas Day.
Yep. Ryan, I feel like you're just here with us because you're on vacation, but you got some good nugget. Yeah. Let's have our 7'6" star be groggy and likely play bad because his legs are still asleep. Perfect. Reds.
He probably even had his coffee poop yet. He's probably had his coffee, but he hadn't even able to like process it. Now he's gonna be out there playing basketball.
I do my show every day without having my coffee poop. It
happens, man.
Yeah, it happens. You got to do it. So last thing I want to touch on before we take a break and come back and talk about what we're watching, your Christmas list. Christmas is tomorrow. What if you had to pick like let's do 2. What do you think the Grizzlies would pick if they could get one thing from Santa? If they had to run down the stairs, open the present, and they were like, "Oh my God, what is this? Is this Larry Nance Jr. wrapped up?" Oh, it is. Yeah. It's a 7-foot tall man. I like to think. What would they want? And then what would you want? What would you like?
I think if I'm Zach Kleiman, I'm thinking he wants health. He wants a healthy Gigi. He wants a healthy Vince Williams Jr. to see how they come back and fit in this lineup. That's Zach Kleiman.
Yep.
If it's me, like I want 2 really tall packages, right? I want one in the shape of Cameron Johnson from the Brooklyn Nets, and I want the other one to be in the shape of not Larry Nance Jr., but of John Collins from the Utah Jazz. I like Collins and the way that he balls. And there's a world out there where, and again, like I'll probably get heat for this, but I would love nothing more than to wake up to a Shams tweet or a RIP Woj Bombs of the Memphis Grizzlies have packaged Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard and whatever for John Collins and Colin Sexton from Utah. Like that would be I love the way Colin Sexton plays. He's aggressive, he's fast. If there was ever another point guard made for this offense, and this is nothing against Scottie Pippen Jr., he's been great, but there's ever another point guard made for this offense right now, it's Colin Sexton. And just like watching him run up and down the floor in this offense, he might be what Ja used to be, scoring 40 points.
Yeah. Oh man, I love Colin Sexton.
Anyway,
I was waiting for you to say it. I was like, say it. I agree with you on what the Grizzlies want. I think that Kleiman is like he come down and he looks around the corner. He's like looking under everything and he's like, they're all here. He's just like really excited that everybody's healthy. What I would want, it's similar to what you would say. Well, rather than come down and have like Kelly Olynyk, that's a good one, Ryan. Like rather than have all of my Christmas gifts, what I would hope for is that maybe the night before Christmas is like the 2 or 3 of my smaller presents that were wrapped. Someone stole them and replaced them with like a giant, like I want a really nice 2 or 3 for one. Like you said, if my Jake present's gone and my Jitty present's gone and I have like a bigger Kelly Olynyk, like a Canadian present, I'm going to be like, oh my God, cool.
You walk in, and it's like, it smells like maple syrup in here.
Like, yeah, we're making waffles.
That's it. So, yeah, I mean, people agree. We want a healthy potion from Art. Wayno wants consistency for Santi. Spoiler alert, I really hope we re-sign Santi in the offseason. Like there are things that I mean, everybody agrees. Like, these are things that we need, and that's what we want for Christmas. So, Santa, if you're listening, please send us some help in the form of Collins and Sexton, Olenek, Cam Johnson, something.
We've been good this year. Josh's been well behaved this year. I think we should just all, please. Thank you.
Everything's trending in the right directions. Keep it that way.
Yep. It sounds like we're praying to Santa.
I know.
which sidebar. Well, no, I'll talk about it on Tube and Tuesdays. We'll be right back after this, and when we come back, we're going to Tube a little bit because it's Christmas, and I know what I'm watching. I know what I've been watching. We'll talk about it right after this.
I think Zach Edey played well. He got his fouls in. He got them in for sure. But we saw some flashes of really what he can do. Whether that's setting screens or just blocking shots or just making guys change their mind about shots or just affecting the quality of shots that guys were getting in the game. We saw that a lot. They gotta use him though, man. They gotta be able to find him a little bit.
I was about to say they especially the whole first quarter. It was like because I think that lob that y'all had him, that was his first points of the game. So it was like the whole first quarter I did peep that. It was like I see everybody else attempting 5+ shots.
Right.
Y'all gotta find a way to give Zach Edey something like at some point. Everything was running well last night, right? The offense was flowing well. It's gonna come a stretch of time where they're gonna be stagnant, and at that time, that's when I expect them. Okay, hey, let's run a post play to Zach Edey.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
This is a question I don't know if you've ever been asked. Was there anyone you ever wanted to dunk on? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm glad you haven't getting a big kick out of that one. I'm glad you've been waiting all day for that. Waiting all day to get that little jokey joke in. Oh, you got a joke. But yeah, I always wanted to dunk in the game. That's what I wanted to do. And it didn't have to be on anybody. I wanted it to be off of a missed shot, like on an offensive rebound, so that everyone's around or in the vicinity when it happened.
Did you ever dunk in practice and get overly excited?
Yes. and everybody be like, well, are you going to do it in a game? And I'm like, no.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. You know, when I said that I think Kleiman would want all that stuff, I lied. He just wants a new commercial. He just wants that.
Hey, real quick, who's getting Cole on the team? Wayno asked. It's Luke Kennard because he keeps getting those cardio stat lines where he goes out and doesn't shoot the ball. And some of you people on Twitter are saying that he's untradeable. Get Luke out of here, man.
He's the most untradeable I've ever heard. And that's coming from a guy named Luke. I thought you were going to say me. I was like, Luke. I was no. I was set ahead.
Remember, you're my second favorite Luke behind Cool Hand Luke. Like, you can't ask for more than that.
And I look like the claymation Santa. I almost said claymation Jesus, but that's not. It's not true. No. Anyway, no, you can't find claymation Jesus at bluffcitymedia.co. But what you can find is you can find the Anthony Sane Show. That is every Wednesday and every Friday. I don't know if it's going to be going tomorrow because of the holiday, but it might be. He might have pre-recorded a show. Check it out. We got the $2 Sports Show. That is every Tuesday. Today. It is Tuesday. God, today's Tuesday, isn't it? Every Tuesday, every Thursday at noon. We've got the Grizz 901 Live postgame show. That is every postgame, except live, as in the name. No bluffings on Mondays. We got the Night Court podcast. We got a lot. Go check it out. But anywho, back to our show. Because on our show on Tuesdays, we tube. And what does that mean? Tube is a noun. Obviously, it's like a tube, but it's also a verb around here because we talk about what we're watching on TV. We're tubing. We're watching television because everyone has a television, and there's a lot on it right now. And I'm happy to go first. So this is more about what I'm going to be. So as soon as this gets done recording, I'm going to throw my duffel together. I'm with my partner Kyla right now and her family. I'm going to go to my mama's today. As soon as I step in the door, going to be sitting down, and Christmas Story is going to be on for 24 hours. And I know that movie, and I'm not going to watch it in one sitting. I'm going to watch 15 minutes. I'm going to get up. I'm going to come and watch it. Let you know, I'm going to watch it all. I don't think I could tell you the order chronologically it goes in right now. I know the scenes, and I don't know. I know he sticks his tongue to the thing. I know that Santa pushes him down a sled. Yep. I know that the kid can't put his arms down. I don't know the order of the movie, but I'm going to watch it for 24 hours.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. So Maggie's been sick recently, as we talked about. So I've watched a lot more of Queer Eye than I've ever watched in my life.
I learned how to tie a tie from Queer Eye.
It's quite entertaining watching them glamour up these guys. Like some of them, though, I'm like, they start coming to me with makeup and I'm out. But hey, like it's been fun to watch. But we watched Home Alone. We watched Home Alone 2. We watched Santa Claus. We watched the Santa Claus 2 last night, which was really good. Like that was the second one's really good. You get the fake Santa, super, very entertaining, good movie, very funny. And you get the Nutcracker like soldiers walking around, very funny. It's a good one. So we're going to watch Red One tonight. Finally, I've heard nothing but good things about it. Finally excited to watch it. Have you seen it?
It's on my list too. It's like right at the top. I've been waiting to watch it.
Yep. So we're going to watch it tonight. And then tomorrow we're watching Christmas Vacation, because you have to watch that on Christmas Day. And then we're going to watch the Claymation Rudolph, because also you have to watch it on Christmas Day, because Bumbles bounce and Yukon Cornelius and the whole thing. Bounce. And then we're saving the holiday for after Christmas, because it's kind of like Christmas, New Year's. I love that movie. Such a good like we were talking in the group chat the other day about like rom-coms that are like sneaky good. And I know it's like everybody likes the holiday, but I really like the holiday.
It's a really good movie. It's a really good movie.
It's a chick flick from the depths of chick flicks, but I enjoy that movie.
Give it to me. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I need to watch Love Actually too. Speaking of chick flicks, it's Love Actually. Probably watch that today sometime.
There you go. Yeah. And so I'm sure we'll throw in a couple other Christmas movies. My one request. So for me, you talk about Christmas Story being on 24 hours. In my house growing up, we didn't watch Christmas movies on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, because I'm from the country, y'all. I'm from the hills of North Mississippi. And we watched Christmas with the Duke. AMC would do a John Wayne marathon starting at noon on Christmas Eve, and it would go through midnight Christmas Day. And so in my house growing up, it was McClintock, the Cowboys, El Dorado, Hondo. It was good. It was John Wayne movies.
El Dorado is one of my favorites.
Hondo is my favorite. I told Maggie I wanted to watch one, and I'm going to pick a good one. It's either going to be McClintock because it's funny, or it's going to be Hondo just because it's such a good movie, or the Cowboys. There's so many to pick from. But we watched Christmas with the Duke growing up.
Man, you're gonna have you a good Christmas, Pilgrim.
It's
gonna be so good, man. I love. Man, I might throw one in.
Do it.
Family don't know it yet, but we're gonna watch some John Wayne today.
I might watch one the day before, because she's got to work today till 5. Boo. Most of my clinics close at noon, so this afternoon I might throw in a John Wayne.
Yes, dude, I love it, man. Christmas is great. We might be celebrating Christmas all week here, even though it is tomorrow. That's gonna do it for our show today, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out with us all year. Enjoy Christmas with your families. Yeah. Be safe if you're traveling. Please be safe. I know there's a lot of people traveling. If you've already had Christmas, Wayno, thank you. I hope it was good. Go eat, be merry, spend time with your family. Have a great day. We might have a surprise. We won't be live tomorrow, but I might have a little surprise for you tomorrow. We'll see, a little Christmas present to open. But we will be back Thursday. Have a good
real quick before you jump off. If you haven't, we had a surprise come out on Friday. The 2 Buck Sports Show rated the Christmas tree cake desserts. They came out with a myriad of them this year. We eat them, so you don't have to. Check it out, Bluff City Media on YouTube.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm gonna go check that out right now.
Check it out.
Go check it out. And remember this, y'all. Remember, as you go about your Christmas, remember just to be a little weird. I mean, you're gonna be with your weird family. Might not as well do it back, Be a little weird, and remember to smile. See you guys. Have a Merry Christmas.